Intro music fades in, mysterious and haunting. I bet you've heard about haunted houses, maybe even ghostly figures appearing in the dead of night. But what about haunted art? What if I told you that there existed a painting so eerie, so unnerving, and so inexplicable that its story has sent chills down the spines of even the most skeptical souls? Hold tight, because today we're diving deep into the eerie mystery of the crying portrait. Sound of a cold wind blowing, faint echoing sobs in the background. Let me set the stage. The year is 1912. In a quiet, unassuming village buried deep in the English countryside, there lived an artist. His name has been long forgotten, but his works, hauntingly beautiful and undeniably strange, remain spoken of in hushed tones to this day. Among his paintings was one that stood out, a peculiar piece that seemed alive even on the cold, static canvas. A portrait of a young woman with tears flowing down her face. It wasn't the subject's beauty that drew attention. No, it was those tears, strangely glistening, almost as though they could drip straight off the canvas. Close sound of dripping water. Now, people initially called it a masterpiece. The crying portrait, they named it. Visitors to the artist's studio described feelings of overwhelming melancholy, as if the painting itself exuded sadness. But admiration quickly turned into dread. Soon after its completion, peculiar things began happening. The artist himself claimed that he often awoke in the middle of the night, hearing the sound of soft crying. Yet no one was there. Worse, he swore that when he approached the painting during these nocturnal disturbances, the tears on the woman's face seemed to multiply, glistening under the moonlight. Sound of a door creaking slowly. Scared and desperate, the artist decided to sell the painting. He posted an ad, and sure enough, it found a buyer, a wealthy merchant with a taste for the macabre. The crying portrait now hung in the merchant's grand estate, but peace was short-lived. Servants began to report hearing whispers and cries coming from the gallery room where the painting was displayed. One maid, pale-faced with trembling hands, claimed to see the tear-streaked woman blinking, her lips quivering as though crying out for help. Sound effect. A soft, whispering voice, almost inaudible. "Help me." The whispers grew louder. Guests often left abruptly during dinners, unable to bear the unsettling aura that seemed to seep from the painting. And then, one stormy night, the merchant himself was found in front of the portrait. He was stone cold, his face frozen in terror, his hand extended toward the canvas as though he tried to resist something. The expression on his lifeless face was unlike any the coroner had ever seen. Ominous thunder rumbling sound effect. After the merchant's untimely demise, rumors spiraled further out of control. The crying portrait changed hands several times, passing from one owner to another. Each time, calamities seemed to follow. A bachelor who briefly possessed the painting was driven mad, repeatedly muttering, "The tears, they're falling, they're real." And a family who dared to keep it in their home experienced illness, accidents, and sleepless nights, marked by endless crying sounds, heavy breathing, faint sounds of a clock ticking. Local folklore eventually emerged, linking the portrait to the ghost of a woman named Eleanor. According to the tale, Eleanor was a noblewoman wrongly accused of witchcraft centuries ago. She was executed in public view, enduring unimaginable injustice and torment. Legend has it that Eleanor's grief was so intense, her soul imprinted itself onto the portrait painted by the artist, who unknowingly tapped into her restless spirit while creating his masterpiece. Soft, somber violin music fades in. But here's the thing. Despite numerous claims about its deadly curse, the painting has never been destroyed. Those who tried said their tools, be it axes, fire, or even modern torches, would mysteriously fail them. Fire would extinguish itself. Tools would slip out of their hands, as if the painting was being protected. Conspiracy theorists speculate that the crying portrait may harbor forces far beyond human comprehension, a vortex linking our world to another plane. Skeptics dismiss this, attributing the strange occurrences to coincidences or figments of overactive imaginations, but one cannot ignore the trail of tragedies documented. Slight static, crackle sound effect. Interestingly, the portrait has vanished several times throughout history, only to resurface again. It was last reported in an estate sale just a few years ago. A curious historian, intrigued by its legend, acquired it. He claimed to keep it for research, but, believe it or not, after 48 hours, he returned the painting to the seller, for reasons he refused to discuss. To this day, its whereabouts remain unknown. Pause, with the sound of ticking gradually growing louder, then silencing abruptly. So, the question lingers. Was this a case of paranormal phenomena, or perhaps mass hysteria blending with tragic coincidences? Maybe, just maybe. Eleanor's spirit remains tethered to the portrait, forever weeping for the justice she never received. If you ever come across a painting whose tears seem too real to be paint, do yourself a favor, walk away. Outro music, haunting with soft piano and faint whispers. This is Ghost Stories, and you've just heard the chilling tale of the crying portrait. If you're brave enough to hear more real-life tales of the unexplainable, hit like, share, and follow. And remember, some mysteries are better left unsolved. Ensure the expanded voiceover is even more entertaining, but that it maintains the same style, tone, and key points as the original.